So good evening everyone. Today in this class we'll start with comparison operators. Okay. So let me just ask you what is meant by comparison operator. Okay. So comparison operators are nothing but it's like uh, if you want to compare two variables, means if you have some variable suppose considered to be a, and if you have another variable b, if you want to compare between those two variables, you will be using this comparison operators. Okay, so let me guide you through some basic comparison operator. Okay, so what is equal to means? So equal to means if I just write a equal to b, which what it does is it will just check a and b has same value or not. Okay, so once it is done, if a is equal to on b, a and b are same value, if we write this function, it will just give me a value true, boolean value true. If both are not equal, it will just give me a value false, right? So equal to represents the whether the both the values of the variable is equal or not. Okay, so the second one is exclamatory mark and then equal to. What does it mean? So this means is equivalent to not equal. So if I just say a exclamatory mark is equal to b, which is just say like a is not equal to b. If both values are different, then the condition is true. So I'll get a boolean output of value is true. Okay, so as everyone know what is meant by greater than and less than based on the values, right? If a is greater than b or less than b, like that, to check that greater than and less than symbol. So what is the difference between this symbol and this? So we include their value also. If it is equal also, so consider to be I have a to be 10, b to be also 10. If I just write this equal to greater than or equal to, either both satisfy, any one satisfy also, just it get me the value true. Here also it is same. Okay, so greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, so greater than or less than. Okay, we'll jump on to the notebook so that we can just try some examples. Okay, yeah, so let me create another notebook. Okay, so I'll create, let me just show you some basic operations. Okay, so I'll ask 2 is equal to 2. This is true, right? Obviously 2 and 2 are both are same value, right? So if I just run it, I get the value to be true, I get the output to be true. Okay, so if I just write 3 equal to 2, what will be my answer? So it is not true, so I will get false, right? So I can just write another thing, 3 is not equal to 2. Is this right? Yes, 3 is not equal to 2, right? So if I run that, it is true. If I just say like 2 is not equal to 2, no, obviously 2 is equal to 2, right? So if I just run it, I'll get the option, sorry, output to be false, right? So we just saw yesterday, right? If I have some variable a is equal to 5, and then if I write b is equal to 6, okay, if we just simply use, let me run this code, let me update. If I just use single is equal to a is equal to b, what is it means it reassigns the value. It just won't compare those values, it just reassign. See, I have a to be 5, right, b to be 6. If I do this, it just reassign my a value to be b. If I just run a, see, instead of 5 it comes 6 because it just reassign the value of b. So if I want to check what I should do, I should do like a equal to b. If I run it, false, because a is 5, b is 6, right? So the very next thing is what we saw is greater than or equal to function. So I'll write 2 is greater than 1. So obviously that is as that statement is validated. So I should get true, right? Yeah. So if I write 2 is less than 1, I'll get false. Right? So I can write now 2 is greater than 2. Is this correct? No, both are equal values, right? So if I will get false, both are equal value. Nothing is greater than this both two, right? So if I write 2 greater than or equal to, so it is not greater than, but it is equal to 2. So any one condition satisfy, right? So I'll get true. If I write the same way, 2 is greater than or equal to 1, I just compare 2 is greater than 1. Yes, so one condition satisfied, so I will get true, right? So the similar way is less than or equal to 2 is less than or equal to 5, it is true, right? So this is what we call it as basic comparison operator. Okay, so these and all is equal to exclamatory mark and is equal to, which is equivalent to not equal to. Okay, so greater than, less than, and then greater than or equal to, less than, equal to. So this is what we call comparison operator. Next, let me move on to the chaining comparison operator. What is mean by chaining comparison operators? We just saw what is mean by comparison operator. So the word chaining means combining the comparison operators. Okay. So see here, we can use logical operators to combine comparison. We just saw it, set of 6, equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than or equal to. We just saw that 6, right? So we can just combine them and we can just use as a logical operator, which are nothing but and, or, not. Okay, so we'll just do some exercises so that you will be understanding that. So before, what we just did, we just took two values, we just compared it, right? Now we'll change the comparison operators so that we can combine multiple comparison operators and make it as a chained one. So I'll write 1 is less than, 2 is less than 3. This is right? So 2 is obviously greater than 1, 3 is obviously greater than 2. So if I run that, I'll get the value true. Okay, this is we can write it as, we can rewrite it as 1 less than 2 and 2 less than 3. So in AND gate means what it should be, both the conditions satisfy only, the output will be 1, right? So this condition satisfies, yes. This condition satisfies, yes. So my output will be true. If any one of my condition didn't satisfy, suppose and 2 is greater than 3, this condition satisfied, but this condition didn't satisfy. Obviously 2 is not greater than 3, right? So this condition didn't satisfy. So what I will be getting? I'll be getting the false, right? I can rewrite this as 1 greater than 3 less than 2. Is this correct? So 1 is greater than, 1 is less than 3. Okay, so 3 is greater than 2. Yeah, then it is true, right? So this is AND statement. AND means what? Both the conditions should be true, right? So we'll just move on to OR statement. Okay, so I'll use this thing, exact thing we just got false when we use AND, right? So we'll use here OR. Okay, OR statement. OR statement means if any one satisfies the condition, then it will be true, right? So 1 is greater than 2, so this satisfies. We don't want to check this. Either if any one satisfies, it will be true, right? So if I just give, it is true, right? These, like, we are just combining multiple operators, and we are chaining the function. Instead of using one, we just combine two methods. We use AND, OR, right? This is what we call chaining comparison operator. We are chaining multiple comparison operators. Okay, let me move back to my PPT. Okay, so what is next? Next is if, elif and else statement. So here comes the major question. Okay, I know people might be knowing about if, so we'll neglect if. So what is elif and else? The first question will be arising is what is the major difference between elif and else? So, see, elif is nothing but it is a combination of else plus if. So, else if, okay. So, where we will be using else, where we will be using elif, okay. So, consider I just have my commands like I just command my servant to just go to the market A and I just ask him to buy a product. Okay. If he says that that product is not in that market, I will ask him to go to another market. Okay. There what I'm doing, I'm just suggesting first way. If it is not satisfied, ask him to go to another market. I'm just guiding another way also, right? So here I'm just using more than one thing. I just guide him to market A. If it is not there, go to market B, right? So there I will be using elif. Just I'll use the condition if go to this market. If it is not there, elif go to the other market. So if I have more than one, I'll be just using elif. If I have only one option, you just go to this market, and if it is not there, just come back to me. That's it. Okay, so this is the basic difference between elif and else. Okay, so let's begin to learn about the control flow. We often only want certain code to execute when a particular condition has to be met, right? So that is what we call the if condition. So suppose I have an example for you. If my dog is hungry, okay, then this is my condition. Then what is my statement will be, if my dog is hungry, then I will feed the dog, right? So this is the condition part. If this is the condition part, sorry, this is the condition part, and if that condition satisfied, then it is my statement, right? If my dog is hungry, then I will feed. If not, I won't feed, right? So what is the basic control flows of logic? We have the basic, very basic elementary control flow of logics are if, elif and else. So I just mentioned earlier, elif is nothing but it's a combination of else plus if. Okay. So control flow syntaxes make use of colons and indentation. So which is nothing but a space, white space or blank space, we'll just call, right? That is that. Okay. So the indentation system is crucial to Python, as we just discussed before. Even a blank white space makes matter in terms of Python environment, right? So the basic syntax, this is the basic syntax, kindly everyone note it down. So this is the skeleton for an if-else statement. I'll just give you a couple of more minutes so that if people can note it down, we can just proceed in that. Okay. This is the basic syntax for an if-else statement. Yeah, hopefully you would have noted down. So the basic syntax is, I'll just write if, I'll just mention a condition. Okay, so let it be if my dog is hungry, okay, just do a code. Or else if it is not hungry, do a code. If it is a partial, like I can just go with if or else. If it is if else, I'll just make the servant example. If my servant, if I want to buy a product A, I'll ask my servant to go to market B. If I will ask my servant to go to market B. Else or else ask him to come back. So I have more than two options, right? So I will be using here elif and then the final statement to be else. Okay, this is the basic syntax. Okay, so we'll just move on to the notebook, Jupyter notebook, and do some exercises. Okay, yeah. So as I mentioned, we'll be using a condition. We'll be using if that condition is satisfied, then do this. Else if we'll just condition is not satisfied, do this. If both things didn't get satisfied, else do this. Right? So let me just go with the first example, a basic one. Okay. I'll just write if my value is true. Okay, if my value is true, what I do here, if I write true, my font didn't get changed. What is the mistake I do here? Yes, see, I'm supposed to write capital T, so that when I stop writing, it just get, but the font of the true just changed, right? So I'll just say true colon, if it is true, okay, print what to be print. Let's say it was true. Okay, it was true. Okay, if I run that, okay, if I run that, oh, why it is, I just didn't give any function. I just say if it is true, just print me the value. Okay, so you just note it down. If we didn't mention any function, unless until the statement what we gave is false, your output will be true only. Okay, for a blank output, for an undefined, like not undefined, if unless until only if your statement is false, your thing will, your output will be false. Okay, so I'll just add some more logic here. Okay, so consider to be a variable x to be true. Okay, consider x to be let it be false. Okay, false. So what is my x? X is false, right? Boolean logic. So I'll write here on function if x is equal to, if x, this is my condition, if my x, sorry, if x, okay, next line, if x print x was true. Okay, x was true. Okay, so else if it is not true, just print me a value or print me something, print x was false. Okay, if I run that, it gets me an error, right? So let me check it again. So x is false. Why? You can just guess it why we have error here. So you even it say here input, we have the line 5 here, 1 2 3 4 5. What is the error here? So I just said, right, it's not in C, it's not in C++ or Java to use semicolons. Okay, if I run this now, even the syntax error, boy. So even just now it's just saying line 5, it's just denoting line 5 error. So here if you see this, if we just saw in the basic syntax, right, let me move on to the, in the basic syntax we just saw if else stands in the same line. What does it mean? So the same line, if we go to that notebook, you can just check. If I start writing here, if the print will be somewhat little inward, right? So what does it mean? It is a sub function of the, but this is not a sub function. It's not a sub function of print, right? So it is a separate function as like an if, right? So if I run it, x was false because I just say x to be false, and if I say x it is, if it is true, just print me true. If it is false, just print me x is equal to false. Right? You're getting that, right? So if I didn't mention x to be false, if I just didn't mention x to be false, what will be my value? If I just make if true, removing that x, what is my answer? What will be my answer? So it is true because I didn't mention any condition. If it is true, just mention my condition didn't fail here, so it is true, just it prints me the value x was true. Okay, so this is the basic difference, right? Yeah. So the very next thing is, we just saw single code, right? Just if I will have a statement, if it is true, just give me the value, if else it is the value, right? Let me go a little deeper so that I can just build a multiple branches so that we can use if, elif, else. Okay, so let me create a variable whose value is a string. Let it be bank. Okay, I'll just make another line. If I'll say if that LOC equal to I'll just say I'll just say if equal to shop. Okay, if that value is exactly equal to shop, then print me a value, sorry, then print me a value, welcome to the shop. Okay, so if this LOC string is shop, exactly the shop, then I will be printing welcome to the shop. Okay, so if it is not a shop, okay, if it is not a shop, what I have another condition, if LOC is equal to considered to be bank, okay, then print, sorry, then print my value to be welcome to the bank. Okay, if it is not also a bank, just print me, okay, just print me else. If it is not both condition, else print me, okay, else print me where are you, I'm not you. Okay, so where are you? If my I just defined LOC as bank, a string value called bank. Okay, when I run that, it will just go on the first line. If LOC is equal to shop, it will just, we use equal to, which is means we are just comparing that. Equal to shop, it is not equal, so it just keep this. Else if LOC is equal to bank, okay, just satisfied, then it will print welcome to the bank. If I run that, so it just keeps this and it just get me the value welcome to the bank. If it is, if I write something like even let me delete it here. If LOC is equal to, let me just say office, so what will be my result here? It will just go on to the first loop. It is not a shop, then it will skip it. Then if elif it is not an office, then it skips, then it will just print where are you. If I run this program, it will just give both, these both didn't get satisfied, so it just jumped over here and it say where are you. It, since see the first two condition didn't get satisfied, right, so it just came to the else, so it just asks where are you, it just prints where are you. Okay, let me write another example. Okay, so uh, I'll just write a row some my robot to be, I have a robot, so let it be like, okay, let me write a code to my robot. If my robot sees, let me create a variable name master and sees alphabet. Okay, okay, I just created a variable name master and just created the variables value to be a string called alphabet. Okay, and I say if I enter the master value equal to alphabet, just print me hello master, welcome. Okay, so if it is not, else. Okay, so else print, okay, else print, may I know who is this. Okay, so if I run that, so I will just write it as master, so my first command gets validated, so it's printed alpha, hello master, welcome. Right, if the master value is not an alpha, it just print may I know who is this. Right, so I'll just write another program so that I'll just give you a perfect example of this. Okay, so I'll write a person, I'll create a variable called person which is equal to, okay, George. Okay, George. Okay, so I just created a variable whose value is George. Right, if person value is equal to, I'll just create Sammy, then print, okay, then print welcome Sammy. Okay, if it is not, else, sorry, elif person equal to Gandhi, let me print uh, welcome Gandhi. Okay, if both were not there, so I'll just, if both didn't, if I'll just add another elif. Okay, elif person equal to George again, George. Okay, so I'll say print welcome George, well, sorry, welcome George. Okay, else print who are you. Okay, so I just gave multiple functions, right? So I just mentioned a person name to be George, like string value. So I just asked, yeah, I just go with my command, if my person name is Sammy, just print me this value. If his name is Gandhi, print this value. If his name is George, print this. If apart from these things, if you get any other answer, else you will just use this. Okay, so when I write this program, run this program, it will just skip this because the person name is not George, so it skip this. It's not Gandhi, so it skip this. So LF, if person is George, yes it is George, so prints the value welcome George. Okay, We'll move on to the, I'll just give you a couple of more minutes so that you can just copy it down whatever you have learned for if, elif and else statements, okay? So that we can move on to for loops, okay? So I'll just scroll up so that you can note it down, okay? Then we'll move on to for loops. See, if you just want to and keep in mind, like you should have some good understanding of how indentation works, okay? So directly it's not going here. People might think, okay, George, just go here, it's working here like that, okay? So it just read line by line. If this condition is false, then it goes here. If this condition is false, then it goes here. So you just know how your code actually runs, the order of the code you are running, okay? So if I just mention, if it is in place of Sammy, if I have George here, the first and this condition satisfied, it just skips everything else and just prints it, okay? So since it doesn't validate the first statement, it just keep on moving. Once it validates, it just skips entire steps, okay? So the very next thing what we see is, let me move on to for loops. So what is meant by for loops? We just saw if, elif and else. What is meant by if? If this is my statement, print this, right? So for loop is nothing but, if you have many object in a Python, we just make the term, this is very important, which is just called iterable, which means we can iterate over a certain period of elements, okay? So if I want to run my program for 10 times, I'll just iterate it for that many times. For like, if I want to run the exact program for 10 times, I'll iterate it for 10 times, okay? Such as like every element in the list, okay? So if I just have a certain list, I suppose consider to be I have a set of lists from 1 to 10. If I want to do the same function in all the elements in the list, I'll just iterate it. Instead of just taking one by one, I want to write the code, index every element, and I should write. Instead of that, I'll just iterate to my entire list, okay? This formatting of iterating, we call it as loops, okay? So I'll just go little brief inside this iteratable again. Okay? So that iteratable means you can just iterate over the entire, over every each and every object inside the list. Not only list, inside your dictionary, okay? So each letter in a string even can be iterated, okay? So each letters in a string, numbers in a list, characters in a list, keywords in a dictionary, key values in the dictionary, even they can be iterated, okay? So how the syntax for the for loop? We just saw for the if else statement, right? So if my condition is this, I'll print or else do some action. Not if this didn't get validated, if my condition is this again, so it do certain operation. If both didn't get validated, just do this, right? This is the basic syntax of if else statement. If I just move on to for, what is my syntax? So I'm just first writing my iteratable. So I just give my value, variable, a set of list first, okay? I just define three elements in the list, 1 2 3, or not only list, I can just give a string, I can just give a dictionary, whatever thing I want I can give. But as of now, I'll just, for an example, I just name a variable called my iterable, and I create a list having three elements, 1 2 3. Then what I'm doing, I'm just using a syntax for, I'm just using this for loop as my operator for item name, okay? What is the item name? What is the item name? So I have a set of lists and I have three items, okay? So what is the item name in my iterable, which variable, set of items, in which variables I'll print that. So if I do that, each elements in my list, each elements in my iterable in this variable will get iterated one by one. So 1 get iterated, 2 get iterated, 3 get iterated. Okay, so we'll just see a couple of examples so that you people will get more knowledge about it. Okay, so let me go back to my Jupyter notebook. Okay, yeah, so let's do for loops. What is for loops? Okay, the basic thing, if we just say for loop, you should come across in your mind is iteration. So how much iteration I'm doing, that is only used for loops. Okay, so let me create a list first. Let me have a list 1 to be, if it is list means we should start with then square braces, right? So I'll just have a set of lists 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and then 10. So I have 10 elements in my list. Okay, so I just updated. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a for function, for loop. I'll just write for. Okay, so for numbers. Okay, for numbers. Okay, for numbers, sorry, numbers in list 1. Okay, so I just said you right here, for item name which is number in where, in my iterable, which is the variable name, right? So for in list 1, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to print my numbers. Okay, I just say print the numbers. Okay, if I run this, it just give one by one. Okay, so it just iterate the first value 1, second value 2, third value 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We just gave only the num, we didn't give anything other than that, like do this and iterate this for every value. Instead we can just give some value to it. I'll just take you to that the thing. So before that, I'll just recap the thing. Okay, I'll just do a small recap. If I just do like this, what will be my answer? 17 modulo 5. What will be my answer? This is a quick recap so that people might understand. Okay, so if we do that, my answer will be 2. How? So I just can divide 5 by 17 by 5 3 times, right? So my remainder is 2. So modular function gives me the remainder 2, right? If I just write 18 modulo 7, what will be my answer? 7 2s are 14, so 4 is my remainder, right? So now what I'm going to do, I just have my list 1 to have set of 10 values, right? So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to write a function for using for loop for num in list 1. Okay, so for num in list 1, I just call the numbers in the list 1. Okay, for that what I'm going to do, if number, okay, if the numbers, each numbers, I'm going to do modulo function divided by 2. Okay, if I divide 1 divided by 2, what will be my answer? 1. 2 divided by 2, 2 modulo 2 is 0. So whenever I do an even function with modulo, even number with the modulo 2, I'll be getting 0, right? If I divide 4 by 2, my remainder will be 0. 6 by 2 is remainder is 0. 8 by 2, my remainder is 0. So if I want to find the even numbers, so what I can do, every number modulo 2 should be equal to 0. So what it does here, it just takes the number from the loop in the from list 1 and it just do the number modulo 2, and if it is 0, then it prints the value. See, it prints the value. So what I'll be getting, if I have even numbers, it will be getting printed, right? So 1, if I divide 1 by 2, my remainder is 1. So this it won't satisfy this condition, right? Then it will skip that. So let me just run this. So it just prints the even number 2, 4, 6, 8, which in turn if we divide it by, if you do modulo function, it is 0, right? I can just use else also here, right? If I say else, if it is not if num is equal to num modulo is not equal to 0, this is what I supposed to do. Print odd number. So if I do that, if I run it again, so 1 is an odd number, 2 even number, sorry, yeah, 3 then odd number, 4 even number, 5 odd, 6, right? Hope you are getting that, right? So let me do some couple of more examples so that you can be familiar with what is for. See, we are just crossing the basics now. We are just understanding what is basically does. Okay, so just make sure you get what the function does. Okay, suppose if you are just reading about if, you just make sure what if really does, where it is used, what is the basic syntax to use if, then for where it is used, why it is used, and then what is the basic syntax of for. That is fine. When we go and write some program, when we just go into the real world environment, we can just write it, we can just know what is that for. Okay, so let me just do couple of more example. Okay, so let me create, okay, uh, let me assign a value. Okay, mm, let me create a variable which called sum and initiate it as initial value of sum to be 0. Okay, so what I am doing here, I am going to do an iteration using for loop for num in list 1. Okay, I am going to add each and every element in the list. So how I am going to do, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10, 10 plus 5 is 15, 21, 28, and then 36, 36, and then 45, and then 55, right? So I'm going to iterate one by one value. Okay, so I just take for numbers in list 1. What I'm going to do, I just see enter and I say list, sorry, I just say sum is equal to, okay, sum plus, instead of sum I can just write another variable, list sum. Okay, because it hasn't predefined, sum is predefined, so it's showing in green color, right? So let me write list underscore sum. Okay, list underscore sum is equal to list underscore sum plus num. Okay, and then print the final value of list underscore sum. Okay, so what it does, it just go inside the list numbers in the list 1, it just iterated until it gets the last value. So it will be what it will be getting, will be getting the answer 55. Just go inside one element, 1 plus 2, then 2 plus then 3, then it add by 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it just get me the value 55. Okay, we just saw before, right? We can just, instead of reassigning like this, we can just simply do it like this, right? See, this is, instead of doing like this, I can just write list sum plus equal to num. So what I will be doing, what does it means, list sum plus is equal to sum, which is very equivalent to list sum is equal to list sum plus num. So this plus is equal to represent, just add one more time with the number. Okay, We just saw how to create a set of values, right? We just also can see some example based on strings. Okay, so I'll create a string. Okay, let me call a string to be okay. Okay, let me just don't call it function, let me directly go for a okay, for letter in. Okay, alphabet learnings. Okay, for letters in alphabet learning. Okay, I'm just going to say print letters. So what it will be doing, it will just start doing iteration by one letters. Okay, so if I run that, so it will just go to first iteration, first letter it will print, second iteration, second letter, like that it will just iterate one by one and it will prints. Okay, so we just saw how to iterate, how iteration function works on a list and then works on a string. Wait, we just had another topic, tuple, right? So we can just use this, what to say, this for function inside a, sorry, for loop inside a tuple. Yes, we can use inside a tuple. Okay, so let me create a tuple. So let me create a tuple. Tup is equal to, I'll be using is right 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Okay, so I'll just write for let it be t. Okay, t in tuple. Okay, print t. What does it does? So it just go for first iteration 1 2 3 4 5, right? So it will be printing 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so now you people are going to say what you are going to get, what I am going to get my output. Okay, let me create a list named list2, which is equal to, list means what I should do, square braces, right? Square braces, I have first element to be 1 comma 2. Okay, and then second element to be 3 comma 4, and then third element to be 5 comma 6. Okay, so if I go for iteration, if I go for let me say something like t1 comma t2. Okay, for t1 comma t2 in list 2. Okay, print uh, then t1, what will be my answer here? Let me just say, let it be, let not first, let you people just answer me first this. Okay, let me consider everything as a tuple. Okay, so what will be my answer if we try it like this? For tuple, I'm just taking an iteration one by one. Whether I will be getting, I'll just give you an option whether I'll be printing my value like this 1 2 3 4 5 6, or else 1 2 3 4 5 6, like that. It will go for entry iteration based inside the braces or only on the elements. Yes, yeah, you people can't command, right? Sorry about that. So it will be 1 2 3 4 and then 5 6. It just gets, see, this is the first element of the list, right? This is the second element of the list and this is the third element of the list. So it just iterate every item in the list, not the inside the, not, it won't iterate inside that item, it will just iterate on each item, not on inside the item. Okay, if I want to iterate inside the item, what I'm going to do is I'll just write another for loop for t1 comma t2. Okay, in list 2. Okay, if I say print t1, if I say print t1, so it will just check in what condition it is t1 and t2 we have inside this, right? T1 t2 t1 t2 t1 t2. So what it will be printing, first element, first uh, value from each tuple. First 1, 3 and 5. If I run this, is this 1, 3 and 5. If I again write, if it is to be t2, what will be my value? It is 2, 4 and 6. Okay, so let me just go with a dictionary and we can wind it off things. Okay, so let me create a dictionary now. D is equal to, you will be using curly braces for dictionary, right? So I'll be just writing key 1, let it be key 1. Okay, whose value is 1. K2 whose value, sorry, K2 whose value is 2, comma, and then K3 whose value to be 3. Okay, so we just created 3 items and corresponding values also, right? So if I just say, okay, let me update it. Okay, if I say for item in D, okay, this is my condition, and I say enter print item. If I print that, what will be my answer? So it just prints the every items in my dictionary. So you might be asking, okay, if you just use tube, if you just mention for, it is just taking the every elements. If you goes to some dictionary, why it is taking only the key? How can we get the values or both the keys and values? You may get that questions. Okay, so for that, what we are just say, see, for dictionary, the key or the key elements are only the major elements. Okay, so corresponding to the key elements we have values. Okay, so it is like in a dictionary you will be having a word only, right? For that word meanings will be there, so but the words are the important there, right? So the same way here key elements are important, so only if at all we didn't mention anything, only the key elements drops down. So if I want to take the values, or if I want to take both keys and values, and I can just make, see, I can just make it like d dot, if I just write d dot items, what will be my answer here? So my answer will be the dictionary items. I'll just create set of items in my dictionary. First is an k1 whose values is 1, k2 values 2, k3 values 3, right? I'll just see, I'll just do like for, okay, for k comma v, I'll just write simply some variable k or v. So let me say k for that key point, v for value. Okay, so I'll write k and v in this. What is d item? D item is set of list. Okay, again we come to this point here, list is there, no? So from that list we will write t1 and t2 and we can get the values, right? So in k comma v in d dot items, okay, so if I mention this, this denotes the entire list, right? In that, okay, in that, get me the, or print k. If I just do that, what is the k? K means the first value, right? K1, K2, K3. If I print again, print, let me go up, print the value of v now, which is 1, 2, 3. If I run this, k1 v1, k2 v3, k3 v3. Why it is not? First I just gave only k, so first k1 k2 k3 only should be printed, right? You should not think like that. See, first how it does, first it just run this, so it is identified this, we are identifying, then it runs the second program where k is first, for first iteration k is this one, for iteration first v is this, so it prints this. Then for second iteration it goes to the second element where k is this and v is this, so it prints that. Third iteration for k is this and v is this, it prints like that. Okay, so this is how the for loop works. Okay, so for loops means the basic thing you want to get in your mind is iteration. If you want to do iteration, you will be using for loops. Okay, I'll just give you a couple of more minutes so that you can just note it down, so that we can move on to our interactions slot. Okay, so let's spend some time on our interaction. Okay, so that you I'll just keep my screen for a couple of more minutes so that you can note it down if you want any. So don't worry, I'll be so giving you a supporting material side by side. So what and all I'm doing on your screen, I'll just make sure, if at all suppose if I just write this, why we are writing this, why we are like this, I'll just mention everything and I'll give you a separate note out of it. So don't worry for that, I'll give you the supporting material. If I give now, you won't try doing that. If you'll just see that notebook and just try to implement that, you won't what to say, you won't practice that. Okay, so that's what the reason I'm not giving you. So you just try. Once you people are trying, you will be getting that. Once at the last, I'll be providing you that supporting entire supporting material. Okay, so let me enable the chat so that people can ask their doubt in the chat. Okay, uh, after some after the discussion, I'll be providing you that form so that you can just mark your presence. I hope everyone have copied down. Okay, you just try to do it by yourself when you find time. Okay, let me close my screen. Yeah, so if you have any doubt, you can just ask me.